As we do every Friday, we bring in the wine guru. From Harding's, he is Terry. How are? I should actually have that. Hang on. I may have something for you here, Terry. We bring in the wine guru, Terry.
Golf clap.
No, the Hallelujah Choir. I'm just glad that nice to see you there.
Well, that's much more appropriate.
I like that. Absolutely. What you bring in with you today?
Well, we got a big wine sale going on this weekend at Harding's. And when I say Harding's, of course, we're talking about 3 or 4 of the main wine selling Harding's. And that includes the one over on Westage in front of Crossroads Mall, and the one over on Woodbridge and Portage, and then out on Gull Road in Richland. And I'm not sure whether they're having a sale today over at the West Main store, but what we're talking about today is a little bit more about Michigan wines, but since we got summer going on, at least some would call it summer.
Today it's summer. Today it's feeling a little like summer, a little humidity. It's over 80. I'll take it.
We got the summer teas going today, and anytime that happens here in Michigan, we want to break out the chilled bottle of Michigan Riesling. There's nothing better on a hot day than an ice cold bottle of Michigan Riesling, and as Jake can tell you, we do it better here in this state than they do it anywhere in the world, with the possible exception of Germany, but you're going to pay a whole lot more for it there. Absolutely. But ours is just as good.
You know, I was telling you off the air, Terry, one of my first trips, I was a wine idiot. I have to tell, I knew nothing, and it wasn't for any other reason. Nobody really explained it well. So we went up to Old Mission on a weekend. We did Old Mission one day and Leland on the next day. The first place I stopped at was Chateau Grand Traverse. And there was a guy behind the bar area there, and it was early. I mean, it was maybe right before noon or something. And my wife and I, we didn't know anything. He took the time. He said, "Look, we told this is the first time we've ever been on a wine tour. We have no idea what we're doing." He said, "Great, sit down. Let me explain this to you from top to bottom." And he really did a fantastic job.
These folks will take you under their wing if you go and visit them and keep your mind open and your palate open. They'll take you under their wing, and they really will educate you in one of the most fun educational processes you'll ever go through. We were just having this conversation the other day at the store about how 5 or 6 years ago, if you weren't a Michigan wine fan, okay, you could be forgiven. But you know what? It's so good now. We're competing with the whole world in terms of quality and value. So there's no reason, if you're a wine drinker at all, get out and explore that. And you won't find a better selection of Michigan wines than in that Crossroads store over on Weston. It's almost 200 varieties. We have the most in the state. That's a commitment to Michigan winemakers because they have earned it. They deserve it. So we bought a couple of Rieslings with this.
What did you brought my favorite,
right?
And this is my favorite white wine.
Well, they call this the beast at Chateau Grand Traverse. This is the wine that pays the bills. This is in several states around the country, so that's quite a kudo to them for getting it out there and the whole world taking notice. This is Chateau Grand Traverse Late Harvest Riesling 07 vintage. If you see 07 anywhere, that's a great vintage. 05 was a great vintage too, but 07, whenever you see that from Michigan, grab it. So that's on sale today for right around $12. And then we've got Leland Now Cellars, which is the other peninsula up there. Yep. And that's only $9.99. So today that's about a $9 bottle of wine if you come in while the sale's going on. But either one of these and several more, I can name 30 Rieslings from around the state right now that you'll be totally pleased with. Just if you haven't tried them, come in and try them. And if you have tried them, today's another day to get reacquainted because they're on sale.
Terry, tell them a little bit about the late harvest piece, because it's not your typical Riesling. It's a little different.
Right, and that's one of the reasons it's so popular, and it always is a little more expensive because the later it stays on the vine during the harvest season, the more risk the winemaker is taking. So they're taking a chance, rolling the dice, leaving it on the vine, and the sugar gets concentrated in the grape until the point where it actually starts to burst open, and that's when the fungus, the good fungus called botrytis, will set in. At that point, it becomes what's called an ice wine, and very, very hard to roll the dice on that, and that's why those ice wines are extremely expensive. But the late harvest Riesling's a little less of a gamble, but a little more pricey, but not too much, and just as juicy and good as they get.
They're delicious, man.
They are delicious.
All right, if you want any of these Rieslings, any of the Michigan wines, once again, Terry, where would they go?
Harding's in front of Crossroads Mall on Weston has got a great selection. We also have a great selection over at the Woodbridge store in Portage on West Center Avenue. Come out to the Richland store, good selection there on Gull Road. And at the West Main store, they've got a good selection as well.
Excellent. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Terry, the wine guru, always brightens things up when he shows up. It's very cool.